Absolutely. My name is Heather Ann Shea. I'm currently Mrs. Wisconsin America 2021. I am the luckiest girl in the world to be married to my husband, Peter. My favorite title, pageant title I've ever held really has been being Mrs. Wisconsin, but it's such an honor to be Mrs. Shea. We live in the city of Milwaukee in Wisconsin with our 6-year-old rescue dog, Benjamin. And fun fact, my husband is actually a disabled Marine Corps veteran. So we do a lot with veterans programs throughout the state and throughout the Midwest. We're very active volunteering with the Fisher House, which provides a place for veterans who are receiving medical care at the VA hospital, because there's one VA hospital in the state of Wisconsin. So veterans are traveling hours and hours to receive medical treatment that they so desperately need. And the Fisher House provides a home environment place for them and their families to stay while they're receiving treatment. So it's just something that's really important to us. And I'm really honored to be a part of working with the Fisher House and to be representing them as Mrs. Wisconsin.
I understand you have no children for the moment.
Can you repeat? Sorry, you're breaking up a little.
I understand you have no kids for the moment.
Nope, my husband and I have chosen to not have kids. We are very active, adventurous people, and we love our life. We have nieces and nephews and honorary nieces and nephews that we enjoy spoiling and spending time with. And that's what we want to focus on. And we love our life, and being a family doesn't always mean having kids. Being a family means being with the person that you love the most and sharing life with that person.
It's a decision for the moment, or definitely no children?
I don't think my husband and I will ever have kids. Like I said, we have built our family to be what it is and the way that we've always envisioned it. I've never seen myself having kids. I enjoy spoiling my nieces and nephews, and we're both on board with that. That's how we're going to continue living our lives.
I have no children, but I have cats.
I have a dog. Yeah, so I am the catering sales director for a large restaurant group in the city of Milwaukee. We are a $1 million+ catering operation. I oversee on-premise events for 3 different restaurants, plus $750,000 in sales that we do in off-premise events. So I do that full time, and it's great because I can take my computer and I can do catering sales wherever. So I'm really excited for the opportunity to be Mrs. America, but also show women that they can be a working woman and have a career, and you can take your career anywhere.
Mrs. America is a full-time job. All former Miss America said me it's a full-time job. And how do you think to manage your job, your husband, and your crown duty if you win the crown of Mrs. America?
So like I said, I'm really lucky that I have a job that I can do from anywhere. I do sales from my computer. Right before we started this interview, I was actually responding to some emails. I take my computer, any appearances that I'm doing outside of the city of Milwaukee, and I'm working. And I've been able to do over 30 appearances as Mrs. Wisconsin since I was crowned. And I'm going to continue that as Mrs. America. My goal is to visit every state in the US and to do events at every single Fisher House throughout the country. And I'm going to bring my laptop right along with me and continue my career, because after this season of being Mrs. America, I will still be catering sales director at Black Shoe Hospitality. Yeah, so I have actually been competing in pageants for 16 years. My very first pageant was at 16 years old, competing at Miss Wisconsin Teen USA. I made the top 15 my first year at that pageant, and I was first runner up the very next year. I have a long history competing in the Miss America organization. I held the local title of Miss Fond du Lac and had the opportunity to compete at Miss Wisconsin 2012. I've competed in a lot of different Miss pageants, but Mrs. Wisconsin was my very first Mrs. pageant. I was only got married a year ago. So I'm a fairly newlywed, really enjoying this journey with my husband and just winning my very first Mrs. pageant right out of the gate. So that's really exciting for me.
For the moment, in pageantry, when you are younger or now, what is your best memory?
Really, I think winning Mrs. Wisconsin was the best memory. It was such an incredible feeling to look out into the audience and see my husband even more excited than I was in that moment, because he met me when I was kind of on a little hiatus from pageants. I hadn't been competing for a year or so when I met him. So this was his first pageant journey with me, and seeing him so excited and so supportive of me on this journey has been the best memory. I love being able to share this with him.
Your husband is like the husband of Mrs. Pennsylvania America. She said me, she is my best cheerleader and my best coach.
He is. He is. He's gone to almost every single appearance with me. Anytime I hand him my phone to take a picture, he's right there. I have so many pictures of him carrying around all of my luggage and my crown and my banner. And I am truly the luckiest girl in the world to have him. I know a lot of women don't have a husband who is all in for pageants, and Peter is.
Your husband can travel to Las Vegas in November?
He is. He is going to be traveling to Las Vegas. He's actually a full-time graduate student right now working on his master's degree. So he will finish class on Thursday and come to Vegas. And then he has class at 8 a.m. on Monday morning right after.
I imagine the audience. We will be a battle of cheerleader between the husband of our candidate.
Yeah, no, he's ready. We've got light sticks and bells. Wisconsin is coming.
Your family supports you too?
My family is coming. I am so lucky to have 20 family members coming to Vegas to cheer me on, plus about a dozen or so friends coming to Vegas. I'm going to have quite a crowd, and I'm so lucky to have the support system around me. Really, they're all in. My family is all in. My mom and my grandma spent an entire weekend making my state costume. My aunt has been making alterations and rhinestoning every single outfit I've mailed to her. Like, I am so lucky to have this group that's going to follow me to Mrs. World.
Yes, because the goal, the ultimate goal is go to compete at Mrs. World. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I told my husband I wanted to start competing in pageants again, I said one and done. I was going to do the big one. Mrs. America is the most prestigious pageant for married women in the world, and I'm going to be Mrs. America. I checked step one off the list, being Mrs. Wisconsin, and I can't wait to really show the world why I'm going to be the very first Mrs. Wisconsin to be Mrs. America.
If you can go to Mrs. World, winning Mrs. World is a dream for you.
It is. Being able to represent women on that international level, it would be an absolute dream come true. Representing my state has been a huge honor. I know being Mrs. America will be a huge honor, but really being on that international stage to show women that they can be real, that they can have full-time careers, that they can support their husbands and be Mrs. World is a huge opportunity and would be a huge honor.
And Mrs. World is the biggest stage for married women in pageantry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think when I knew I was going to start competing in pageants again as a married woman, competing in the Mrs. America system was the only pageant that I ever considered competing in, because Mrs. America and Mrs. World is the premier stage for married women.
I agree totally. Because I have interviewed a lot of candidates. We work with a lot of system for teen, Miss, Mr. and Mrs. And we have worked with Mrs. Globe, Mrs. World, Mrs. America, and Mrs. International too. And for me, the first pageant is Mrs. World and Mrs. America because it's the same organization. For me, it's together.
Yep. Yep. This is the big one. This is the one that matters for me. For me, beauty is really all encompassing. Beauty is what you're showing on the outside, because walking into a room and being the most beautiful woman in that room, it sets a stage for you. It gives you this platform that people are going to really listen. And I think that outward beauty opens doors, and it's the inner beauty that keeps that door open. And for me, having a really strong message to share is what is showing my inner beauty. Being an advocate for on behalf of veterans and on behalf of wives of disabled veterans is something that's so important to me. I live with a disabled veteran. I know what it's like to go through the hardships and the struggles that he goes through every single day. And I want to show women that you can use your outward beauty to make an impact with your inner beauty. So when I was 4 years old, I was diagnosed with a swallowing disorder and actually lived with a gastric feeding tube for 12 years. On my 18th birthday, my very first decision as an adult was to have my gastric feeding tube removed. When you look at me, you see a healthy woman who is following all of her dreams, but I live with an invisible disability every single day. A few years ago, I walked out to my car after using my handicap parking permit to a pretty nasty note left on my windshield. And I will never forget how demoralizing it felt to read this really nasty note. And I knew from that moment that I wanted to ensure that only one person didn't have to feel this way. So as Mrs. Wisconsin, as Mrs. America, and as Mrs. World, it is my goal to make sure that I am able to change the trajectory for one person's life, that somebody will take a chance to step back, understand that you don't understand what's happening behind closed doors. You don't understand the struggles and the journey that someone is on just by looking at them from the outside. And if I can ensure that one person is saved from having that experience, I will have been a successful Mrs. America. I am the national spokesperson for the Invisible Disabilities Association. And as someone who lives with an invisible disability and someone who lives with a disabled veteran, when you look at him, he looks like a strong, tough Marine, but he has a very broken back. He suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder like 75% of veterans. And I think it's so important as Mrs. America to be creating spaces for people to share their stories with invisible illness and to be advocating on behalf of people who live with invisible illnesses.
And with Mrs. America, we have a great platform to speak and to share your background, your history. And I'm sure during the pageant, you can share this and you can touch a lot of people. I'm sure you can impact not only one person, but a lot of persons.
Absolutely. And that's the ultimate goal. I would really love to live in a world where someone is not afraid to share their story or to use their handicap parking permit, because people understand that you don't always know what's going on. You see this outside picture, you don't see the inside picture. Absolutely not. I think it's the things that are make everyone different is what really creates an opportunity and a space for people to share their stories. I know that as Mrs. Wisconsin, I have the ability to impact so many people. I know when I share my story about living with a feeding tube for 12 years, there are so many parents that see their kids who have feeding tubes thinking they're never going to be able to be Mrs. Wisconsin. They're never going to be able to do dance and swimming and all of the things they want to do. And here I am. Here I am living my life to the fullest and showing that it doesn't matter what disability you have, whatever you have that's holding you back, you can do anything that you set your mind to. And I think that's important. It's important to be a positive role model and to give hope to people and to give hope to parents who see that their kids are struggling, or even if my neighbor is struggling, to for them to know that they are capable and that they can do anything that they want.
What is your best asset to win the crown of Mrs. America?
I think it's my consistency. As Mrs. Wisconsin, I made a commitment to do 52 appearances. I've already done over 30 as Mrs. Wisconsin, and I am committed to doing 52 appearances, one appearance every single week, at least, as Mrs. America. And I've shown that I have that consistency. I'm also incredibly authentic to a fault. What you see is what you get. I am me. I am the wife of a disabled Marine Corps veteran. I am a career woman. I am someone who believes in going after their dreams. So I am truly the best choice to be Mrs. America because I'm authentic, because I'm consistent, and because I have a husband who stands behind me, and we're so ready to be Mr. and Mrs. America.
Your husband is ready for the reign of Mrs. America because it's a full-time job. And I talked with April, Mrs. World 2012, and Diana, Mrs. World 27. And all girls send me, I have no time for my husband. My husband supports the family when I go to the travel, when I go to the event. Your husband is ready for this life?
He's ready. He's ready to travel with me. Like I said before, he goes to most of my appearances with me. He's ready to travel the country with me. He knows what it takes for me to be Mrs. America, and he knows what it's going to take for him to be a successful Mr. America, and we're ready.
I must meet the husband because during the interview, almost, not all, almost husband are ready for this life. For me, it's amazing.
Nope, he's ready. Like we are both committed to this. We knew that this was a team effort, and it's going to be a team effort through the end of my year as Mrs. World.
What is the most difficult for you during the competition? Is it the walk-in? Is it the interview? What is it the most difficult?
That's a tough question. Since I've been competing in pageants for so long, I think I've really found what works the best for me. I've found those little tips and tricks. I love being on stage. I've been a dancer my entire life, so I'm very comfortable being on stage and being in front of people. I love interviews, sharing my story. I love, who doesn't love evening gown? For me, I tend to be a little bit of a shy person. I'm not always the one that's in the middle of the party. I do catering sales. I love being the person behind the party. And I think that is really translates into my personal life as well and how I am in pageants. So sometimes I'm the quiet one off to the side, but once I get to know people, I I'm there. I want to everyone to have a good time, and I want to really enjoy the experience. So I'm really excited to get to Mrs. America and meet all of the women competing. I've had the opportunity to connect with several of them on social media, and I'm really excited to get to know them better.
I can go to Las Vegas, but I can watch by live stream the competition, and I will watch this competition. You are not afraid to fall on the stage with your height shoes?
No, I am 5 feet 10 inches. I think I'm one of the tallest women competing this year, and I wear my 6-inch tippy tops, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love being the tallest one on the stage. I think it's something that really sets me apart in pageantry, and I think it's one of my biggest strengths.
How do you define your style on stage? Are you classic, sexy, elegant? What is your style?
I really love a classic elegance, and I really describe my style as classic elegance. I mean, I love wearing solid colors. I'm not the person that's wearing prints. I really love just elegance and really that like classic style.
Why do you think you are the best candidate to win the crown this year of Mrs. America?
Yeah, like I said before, I am authentic and consistent. I set a standard of what my year would look like as Mrs. Wisconsin, and I intend to carry that through as Mrs. America. And I'm authentic. This is me. I'm the wife of a disabled Marine veteran, and we together are ready to make an impact for women and married couples across the country. Oh my goodness. I think I think it is so important for women to do things that fill their cups. I think so often I see my friends who are mothers who their whole identity is being a mother. And I think it's important for women to have an identity that's truly their own. And if helping them find themselves and helping them really give themselves a voice is competing on a pageant stage, why should who is anyone to judge? I think everyone needs to do the things that bring themselves joy and make themselves happy, because you cannot serve others unless you are serving yourself first.
I request a question about what is your synonymous of pageantry. And some candidates say me sorority or friendship or sisterhood. What do you think it's a reality?
For me, the most important thing that I get on a pageantry is, I mean, when I was 16 and started competing, I was shy and I didn't really know who I was. Pageantry really helped me find myself and really helped me find my voice. For me, the thing that I get the most out of pageantry really is friendship. I mean, my very best friend, who was the maid of honor in my wedding a year ago, I met through pageantry. And it's those connections that really help us grow as women. I had the opportunity about a month ago to lead over 90 women in what we called our sisterhood seminar. We were able to collect over 900 items for the Fisher House at the Milwaukee VA. And it's that sisterhood and the opportunities to lead women in that way that I think is the most incredible part of pageantry.
Imagine you win the crown of Mrs. America. Possible. I have no idea who is the winner. All candidates have the chance to win this crown. Imagine you win this crown. What will be your message to women?
It's not hard for me to imagine being Mrs. America. This is something that I've been preparing for, I think, for 16 years since I've stepped on my very first pageant stage. My number one message is be you, be authentic, be the person that you always dreamed of being, and you can do it. If me, the girl who had a gastric feeding tube for 12 years, can be Mrs. America, you can too. Anyone can do this. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. It takes creating a village around you, but it's worth it because you are worth it.
I have a hard question. All candidates tell me it's a hard. Well, who is your favorite, your all-time favorite Mrs. America?
I really connect with our current Mrs. American, Brooklyn Rivera. She is also the wife of a disabled veteran and is the mother of an active duty Marine. And it's really been amazing to see her and see her journey. And I really do connect with Brooklyn. She is really, I see myself in her. She is authentic. She is the woman that you want to go have a cup of coffee with. And that's the Mrs. America that I will be. I will be the person that's showing my real life, my messy kitchen. Um, you can be perfectly imperfect, and that's okay. And that's one of the things that I think I see Brooklyn sharing, and it's really been amazing to see her journey, and I really do connect with her.
I have another question, another hard question only for you. Who is your favorite Mrs. World?
Ah, that's a tough question. um, it sounds like such a cop out, but seeing Kate Schneider really take over this year and really step into this role as Mrs. World, she really stepped into this role so naturally and so seamlessly and so effortlessly that was incredible to watch. Maybe there were some rocky waters when she took over the title, but she took it over with such grace and with such poise that it was really admirable to see. One of the things that I love about the state of Wisconsin are all of these small communities, and going to all of the small community fairs and festivals and events has been so fun because you really get to see how all of these communities come together to make Wisconsin the special place it is, whether it is going to the Central Wisconsin Steam Engine Show or going to celebrate Waupun or going to the world's largest music festival right here in Milwaukee to going to Summerfest. It's really all of these small towns and all of these small communities coming together and making Wisconsin what it is has been really amazing to be able to experience that and to share that with my husband. He's never been to the Central Wisconsin Steam Engine Show, but we went this year and it's really fun to be able to see again all of those small communities and what makes them special. It's really that small town pride. I grew up in city of Fond du Lac. There's about 100,000 people, but you go a little bit south to Milwaukee and there's 500,000 people. And it's really how all of these communities come together and really shape Wisconsin into what it is really my favorite thing. It's that small town pride and how excited people are about the towns that they grew up in and that the towns that they're raising their families in.
Which places in Wisconsin I must visit if I come?
Ooh, I think coming to Milwaukee would be the most fun. It's the city of festivals. We have the world's largest music festival right on Lake Michigan at Summerfest. We have the coolest state fair. You can have anything fried you want on a stick. We've got it. And Milwaukee is so cool too because you go just a little north, you can go to Green Bay and see Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra. And you even go a half hour out of the city, you can see the farmlands that make Wisconsin so special. So I love Milwaukee, biggest little city in the world.
I prepare my next vacation. Because I interview a lot of candidates of Miss USA, Mrs. American now. I have a lot of places in different states.
Yeah.
I prepare a long trip across the United States.
Yeah. Yes. And I think that's the cool thing about pageantry is you get to meet people from all over, and it doesn't matter where you travel, you're always going to know somebody. And I know I can call up a pageant sister from any state and we're going to go have lunch together and they're going to tell me the best sights to see. And that's truly one of the coolest things about pageantry.
I interview a lot of candidates across the world, and I receive a lot of invitations to go to meet in different countries. I must go in South Africa, I must go in Thailand, in the Philippines, and have need 1 year to to visit all person, all interview, but I have no time for the moment. Little by little. I'm sure you use your social media to promote your platform, to promote your journey. What do you think about the power of social media today?
You know, I'm a millennial. I grew up with social media. I remember when I finally had my college email address and I could join Facebook. So it's really been wild to see how social media has grown throughout my life. I really love being able to keep in touch with family who I wouldn't normally be able to keep in touch with because of social media. I also think that social media can be a problem. I know I see a lot of young girls, especially like my cousins' ages, they're 16, 17 years old, and they struggle to really find their place in life. And they see all of these grown women on social media doing certain things that they think that's what they need to do in order to project this particular image. So I really think it's important for people to find that fine balance. And for me, pageants have been what has helped me find that balance. Pageants have helped me find my voice and helped me find myself. So I'm not looking to social media influencers to define what is success. I have so many incredible role models in my life that I can look to of successful women that I'm not having to put myself out there in ways that could be potentially harmful.
Have you been victim of discrimination or haters on your social media? Good question.
Good question. I think social media is important. I think it's important to make sure that you maintain an image. My rule is I'm not going to post anything on social media that I don't want my grandma to see because my grandma follows me on everything. So I think for me, it's important to make sure that my social media reflects my values and the values of my family.
What is the value of your families?
My family really values hard work and my family values integrity. If you say that you're going to do something, you're going to do it. And as Mrs. Wisconsin, that's really something that's been a huge part of my journey. I said that I'm going to do 52 appearances and I've surpassed that goal because this is something that I said that I was going to do. So everything that I say that I'm going to do as Mrs. America, I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it through hard work and through sacrifice. And I'm going to use the support system that I have around me to do the things that I say that I'm going to do, because integrity is so important to me and my family.
First question, are you a good chef?
I wouldn't say I'm a chef. So I work in the restaurant industry. I'm not a chef because I didn't go to school. I'm a good cook though.
What is your favorite recipe?
So fun fact, during the COVID shutdown, when we were all stuck at home, I started watching cake decorating videos, and it was something that I just was enamored with. All of these beautiful cakes people were making, and I decided to try my hand at it. And through COVID, I created my little cake business of the Brady Street Cake Lady. I bake, decorate, and sell custom buttercream cakes. So cakes are definitely my favorite thing to bake. I love experimenting with different decorating styles, and my favorite food is buttercream. I would eat buttercream every single day if I could.
It's not good for the body.
It isn't, but it tastes good.
You are a good, not good chef, but a good baker.
A good baker. I mean, I do cook a lot. I cook a lot at home. I challenged myself when we're all stuck at home. My husband and I had taco week. I made a different kind of taco for 7 days straight. I really do enjoy cooking. I'm always in the kitchen experimenting. But the rule growing up in my house was if you made dinner, you didn't have to do dishes. And I hate doing dishes more than anything in the world. So I learned how to cook real quick. So I do cook. I am a good cook, but my heart is in baking.
During the pandemic, you learned bake. You learned cake, yes. And have you learned something about yourself during this pandemic, during the shutdown?
So my husband and I were actually supposed to get married this year. And during the shutdown, I know a lot of people struggled with their relationships, but my now husband and I realized that we couldn't imagine going through this pandemic with anyone else. And we moved up our wedding by a full year. We planned our wedding in 6 months and had a beautiful wedding at my grandparents' home that we cooked all the food for. I baked our wedding cake and 120 cupcakes for it. So really what I learned is that my husband's the person that I'm meant to be with. I loved being stuck at home with him for almost a full year. It was really some of the greatest time of my life was getting to spend every single second of every single day with him.
What is your favorite movie or TV series?
Ooh, my favorite movie has always been Ever After with Drew Barrymore. I love a Cinderella story. I don't know any young girl who doesn't love a Cinderella story, and Ever After has always been my favorite movie. Whenever I'm not feeling well, I throw in Ever After, and it's always going to make me feel better.
If you can star in the movie, what do you want like a genre of movie? Who do you choose like a co-star?
Okay, well, I'm going to be in a rom-com because I love a rom-com. Oh, who would I want to co-star with me? Oh, Chris Pine. I want Chris Pine to co-star with me, and we need some shirtless action shots too. There we go.
Which item is amazing, is wow in your purse?
Oh, something in my purse that's amazing. I mean, I'm a minimalist when it comes to what I'm carrying with me. Again, I'm a millennial. My phone's always never far from me. So I always have my phone. My whole life is on there. But something else that I always carry with me, I always carry my pageant notebook, have it here with me. It's a place for me to really release any thoughts I'm having. If I'm having a rough pageant day that I'm feeling unsure of myself, it's really great to like go through my pageant notebook and really see those uplifting things that I've written and to really reflect on the important work that I've been able to do.
Your phone is an essential item for you in your life. Are you a desperate woman if you lose your phone?
Yes. afraid to admit it. I'm not afraid at all. I need my phone with me. It's my connection to everything. That's how I keep in touch with my family. It's how I keep in touch with my friends. It has my calendar. I'm a millennial. I need to have my phone.
I have just an advice. Don't forget your charger.
Oh no, it's plugged in right now. There's a charger in every room in my house. I never am somewhere without a phone charger.
Because I know a French candidate to go to Miss World in China, and she forgotten the charger of the phone at home.
Oh no,
No
I need to
phone,
have,
no phone during 1 month.
oh, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Nope. I'll go to the Apple store and get myself a charger. I couldn't do it.
The problem is in China, it's not the same connection for the phone. Between France and China, we have some difference.
Yeah. I will make sure my charger is with me. Thank you for that advice. Message for my fans. Hey. My biggest message is that I'm just so honored to be Mrs. Wisconsin and to be representing so many incredible Mrs. Wisconsins who came before me. And I cannot wait to make you proud at Mrs. America and to be the very first Mrs. America from the great state of Wisconsin.